Well, James, we've had a period of reflection now following the end of the season. How do you look back on the season and what happened at the end?
It was obviously a disappointing end to lose in the last minute like that in a playoff game. It's always going to be a crushing blow. However, on reflection, when emotions die down, you can be nothing but proud of where we come from since December. I think the players really played with a passion and a work ethic. And really on the day, if you're talking about the Notts County in isolation, we more than held our own, and we were really unfortunate not to take the better chances in the game. So in the main, certainly when I came in the building to get the ball rolling, it rolled really fast, really quickly, and it was a blur really, because game rolled in after game. But to come away now and have that reflection time, I think it's we'll put some great foundations in place ready for next season.
Fine margins in football as always, and it was going so well, but unfortunately we just couldn't finally get over the line. But I'm sure it'll have been buoyed by some of the feedback, plenty of people looking from afar and really talking up the game and talking about the quality of the football playing.
Yeah, it was a really good spectacle for the league, and Notts County played their part in that for sure. The day and the crowd, etc., and the setting was outstanding for a National League game, and the players played their part as well. So yeah, it was a really good advert for the league. For us personally, I think we can take a lot from that game, but also the fact that we probably had 5 playoff games at the end of the season. We won 2. And we're really unfortunate with 18 minutes to go in a 2-1 position not to win the third one. So, we can be proud of what the players have performed like since most of them have come into the building. Now we need to take stock. Obviously, there's been a few incomings, and consequently, with incomings, there needs to be outgoings.
Of course, in football, things never stand still. There's always the next player to look at and to bring in. And as you say, you've already brought a few players in. What do you make of what you've managed to do so far? How far down the line are you with your planning for next season?
We're probably 50% there. There needs to be a few more tweaks in terms of when I first took the position here. It was clear that, ultimately we need a more successful team on the pitch, and we're managing to do that at the moment. But we haven't achieved our ultimate goal of getting back to the Football League. So we need to make sure that we balance the books on that. So part of the remit of my position as manager was to bring down the budget as well as improve the quality on the pitch. Now that's not an equilibrium, that's a hard job, because you're working to a budget, but also you want to bring that better quality in to get us in a better position from 21st, which we've done. Obviously finished 6th. Now to add Jack Clark to that, who was a major part of last season towards the back end especially, it was positive. Liam Mandeville's obviously signing the new contract in those just before the playoffs as well, so those two in particular has been pleasing. And to obviously add Jamie and Jeff to that, and Calvin and Scott, that's strength in depth there. But with those players incoming, there's got to be some outgoings in the next few weeks to make sure the business is run right, and ultimately you want to protect the club for the future. That's the ultimate goal here. So it's definitely not going for broke for promotion. It's going with a vision, a plan, and these players have been planned for a while. So it's making sure that that happens in the next few weeks.
I was going to say about that when we went out and signed Calvin Miller on the back of a very good performance in that playoff match, but as you said when we announced the signing, is somebody that had been on your radar long before then?
Yeah, he first came on my radar obviously when we played against them in the league. I thought he performed well in a team that didn't perform so well on that day for Notts County. Obviously the Notts County team performed a lot better in the playoff game, give them credit, and credit's due, and he was a major part of that as well. But the 8 games leading to that game, that playoff game, obviously I studied, and he performed really well, so he's a great asset for us. I'm really delighted that he chose us, because he didn't just have Notts County on the table, he had other teams that had offered him, so I'm really pleased that he's joining us, and I'm sure he can add a lot more on the attacking side and attacking areas.
And you've already alluded to the fact that there are likely to be some outgoings. How near are we looking to some departures, do you think?
Well, the terms have to be right for the club. It's not just ticking a box and getting the players out. Some of the players that may have to leave or depart have had good seasons or good 6-7 months under me. So the terms have to be right for us as a club, and it's not just a sole decision from me. It's working closely with John Croots and making sure it's the right deals for the club. But also it's not just jumping at any offer for any player. It's got to be right.
I understand as well, off the field there are some changes in the pipeline. What can you tell us about those?
Well, George Foster has been offered an alternative role within the club, within the structure that I think perhaps would best suited to the club moving forwards. As we move forwards, we obviously have to make changes, and people have to step off the journey. People have to do alternative roles. Since Danny Webb's come in, he's played a major part on the coaching field for me, and at the level we're at, we can't have too many staff members doing too much. So we need to manoeuvre that and make sure it's the best for the club. So George's been offered an alternative role, and Danny Webb will be assisting me on the touchline going forwards next season.
So with the experience that Danny has in coaching, how big an input can he have?
Yeah, it's not just his coaching, it's his character as well off the field, and that's no slight on George's character. He's certainly hopefully got a part to play as well in the future of the club in terms of an alternative role. But Danny's enthusiastic. He's got experience of winning this level with obviously the late Justin Edinburgh at Leyton Orient. Really done an outstanding job as his assistant, and he's done really well, and he's been a major part of the last 3 months of the season. I'm really looking forward to working with him next year. I'm sure the players are as well.
And in the medical department as well, we've seen somebody who was here on a temporary basis and now looking forward to being with the club on an extended deal. Yeah,
Nick's outstanding in what he's done since he's joined in January, and I'm really pleased that he's committed his future as a permanent head of sports science and medicine for us. It's really, I've said it before, but beyond my tenure, whenever that ends, it could be 15 years, it could be 10 years, it could be 1 month, it could be 1 year. It's important that things are in place and the foundations are in place for a better future for the club, and that's my role as such here, is to make sure the club's in a better position when I depart, and that goes back to recruitment as well. It's ensuring that the books are balanced, and the budget isn't wild and not sustainable. It's important that we're on a sustainable footing for the future, and bringing staff in like Nick, Danny, etc. make sure that the off-the-field staff is in the right place for the future.
Now it's a shorter pre-season break than normal because of the circumstances, so we're soon back in action in the pre-season friendlies. How do you find it, that break from football? You know, you're obviously still planning, but there's not that week-to-week involvement on the training ground. How do you actually cope with that?
Well, I've actually been in training and fatherhood, so the last 5 weeks has been intense. I don't think I've had a break really. It's been full throttle. Obviously, I'm still trying to work alongside bringing young Arthur up as well. So it's been a great 5 weeks for me on that front. But I'm itching to get back in, and I'm looking forward to the players coming back and returning next week. And I hope that the momentum we've built over the last 6 months won't be lost in the 5-6 weeks that we've been off. I'm sure it won't be, and I think the players, speaking to them regularly, they're really itching to get back in and starting work again on the field.
We've announced 3 pre-season friendlies so far, but more to come, and several games here. You wouldn't believe it at the moment, looking at the pitch with the turf taken up, but it's amazing how quickly the grass starts to grow, and we can prepare for some home games here.
Yeah, we're looking forward to the surface being relaid. I'm sure Liam's right at that. I believe it's all done now, all the renovations, and now, like you said, it's for the grass to grow, and the surface has been fantastic in the past, and hopefully it can be back to that standard of the past when the grass comes back.
Now, with the season over, fans have been getting their football fix with the Euros, and no doubt you've been a keen spectator and watching England's progress. What have you made of that so far?
I thought the performance was really strong, in a tense game. Games like that are always going to be close. I said that in our playoff game before Notts County, it was always going to be a close game because there's so much riding on it. And I thought the structure of the team, the way Gareth set the team up, The commitment, the way we went man for man out of possession was really impressive, and only bodes well for the game against Ukraine. But we've been here before, we've had a lot of highs, and it's about, I think Gareth said it in his post-match, it's about the next one now, and it's making sure that we perform to those levels and the same hunger and the same discipline out of possession to give us a platform to go and win the game. So I'm looking forward to Saturday, and hopefully we can get through to those semi-finals.
What do you make of our chances?
On the back end of the Germany game, I would say that we've got a strong chance, but like I just said, I think we've had a lot of highs before and come crashing down when we become overconfident as a nation. It's important to keep our feet on the ground. I'm sure Gareth will do that, and the team will be full of energy and full of discipline and structure on Saturday, going for the win.
And just finally, obviously you're watching as a fan, but how much of the manager in you is there thinking this is what I would do in Gareth Southgate's position? These are the players I'd be picking. These are the tactics that I'd employ.
I think as a fan, you naturally do that, don't you? And in the fan seat, you always have your opinions. But ultimately, I'm quite confident with Gareth's team selection. I think he's got a real grasp of tournament football. He's got a lot of experience, and I think it's coming to the forefront now to change his formation in such a big game like that, to combat the opposition, but still play with an attacking threat, which we did all game. Speaks volumes of how far the England team's come, and I'm confident on Saturday we can get the result.